Hi guys, it's SimLicy here, so welcome to another speed build. So today I am building here in the world of Evergreen Harbor, which is the world that we got with the Eco Lifestyle expansion pack. So for today's build, I am building two homes on one lot. The first one is going to be a larger, more like family style home with 3 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms and a garage. The second home is much smaller with a carport and just 1 bedroom, 1 bathroom. I'm doing the floor plan in these builds and like the wall and like floor tiling and stuff like that. I almost said floor paper, wallpaper and flooring. Yeah, so no furnishing, but I definitely want to furnish these homes in a separate video. So if you guys have any suggestions or ideas on the Sims that you see living in each of these homes, let me know, because I'm not exactly sure. I definitely want a family to live in this yellow house. As far as like what the household looks like, I'm not exactly sure. And then for the little house, I was thinking like a single male Sim, a bit older, not like an elder Sim, but definitely like an adult who lives alone. But maybe it's a couple. I don't know. Let me know if you guys have any ideas. But I am very excited for the next expansion pack, which is called For Rent. And I really want to build for that pack. But in the meantime, I thought that it would be nice just to do something in one of the existing worlds without the expansion pack, of course. But I've seen on Twitter and stuff that it's really easy to convert homes, so they said we should just might as well build now because it's easy to convert them into a rental house and like have the separate units and stuff too. So hopefully it is easy, and I look forward to building lots of homes using that expansion pack. And I plan on doing all of the rental homes like this, where I first complete them unfurnished and then upload them to the gallery and then later furnish them. That way, if you guys just want to have your Sims move into a new empty home, then you can, and you guys can put your own spin on it, but the shells and decorations on the exterior are there, if that makes sense. But yeah, for these homes, I really wanted to give them more of like a realistic feel, and I also wanted them to fit into Evergreen Harbor, and I like the style of homes here. Like, it just feels like a very realistic world, especially in this version of the world, because of course you can modernize the world and it becomes all eco-friendly and the homes become more eco-looking, and like the neighborhoods just it just has like a whole new life to it, which is so cool. I really like this world. I saw somebody saying recently that they never used this world, and it surprises me. Like, if I spent more time playing the game, I think I would use this world a lot. And I like building here. I don't know. I love that there's 2 different versions of it. I think it's so cool. But yeah, here I'm doing some landscaping, and for the landscaping, I really wanted it to look unmanicured, and so I'm using the terrain paint for the grass that is from the Horse Ranch pack, just because it looks like it hasn't recently been mowed. It's just a bit shaggier, and I like the color of it too because it's less of this vibrant green that looks more cartoonish. It's a bit more of like a dull earthy green color, which I think looks more realistic and kind of goes with the look that I wanted to go for. And yeah, not so many flowers. There's like a few flowers here and there, but not like a lot of like colorful flowers. And here I was like, what am I doing wrong? But I didn't realize I used some of the floor tiling. I thought that I used only the floor paint concrete, but I had some of the regular flooring too, because I wanted there to be some sidewalk, and so that's what the rest of the flooring is around the perimeter of the lot. And then I'm using some of this like shaggy grass that came with Cottage Living. I really like using it. I probably have used it in almost every single build since that pack has been released. I really like it a lot. And if you guys aren't finding it in your game, it is a debug object, or maybe it's a live edit object. I don't know, some plants are debug, some plants are live edit, but I think it's a live edit, which you can find really easily if you have the Better Build and Buy mod, which I do use, so I can easily find debug and live edit objects within my catalog rather than searching debug and like sifting through like all of the items. Can be very frustrating. But anyways, here's the smaller house. The smaller house starts off as blue, but it was just looking a bit too cutesy in a blue color to me. And so I end up changing the siding to one that came with, I think it was Get Famous is the siding I used. But anyways, you'll see it here in just a little while, just with like the white windows and the blue. It was looking too cutesy, and I wanted it to have a little bit more of a rough look to it. I wanted the home to look like a little bit cheaper and stuff like that, because it's a very small home and I just wanted it to have more of that realistic look. And so I used a chain link fence instead of like a picket fence like the neighboring house. I think the way I did it on the neighboring house, it looks cute, but not like too cutesy. I think it's a right balance. And then the backyard is fenced in by another picket fence that we have, but in a brown color. So you guys will see that here in just a little while, but I really like the chain link fence around this house. None of the other fences were really looking the way I wanted it to. And I just felt like this looked so just like realistic. At least in neighborhoods that I've lived in, I've definitely seen some chain link fence. I used to live in a trailer myself that had chain link fence, and it just, I don't know, it really gave it that look that I was going for. I'm not sure if your Sims will walk through it, so that might be something to maybe fix if it does happen. I don't know. It's a live edit object fence, so some objects that are live edit objects, your Sims know they're there and they'll walk around them, but other things, the Sims, you know, it's like invisible to them and they just walk right through it. So it may be one of those objects, but hopefully not. But if so, I'm sure there's a way to fix it. Maybe you could hide something or use a fence that you can't really see, like a low-lying one. But I think all the low-lying fences your Sims can walk over to. I don't know. Maybe just using a larger object with definitely some footprint that the Sims are aware of, and then just using the tool mod to shrink it really tiny so you can't see it and then they won't walk through the fence. I think that's probably the best approach. But yeah, here is the side of the house. There is a back door. The back door leads into the bedroom area, which isn't ideal probably for most interiors, but I think for that particular home, it's not going to be that big of a deal just because of the style of home, and I think like a single Sim lives there, and I don't know, it's not perfect, so I felt like that was also pretty realistic. Here I'm working on the floor plan for the first home and figuring out the little backyard area. I put a little back porch back here, nothing too large, just because I wanted to have some outdoor space back here, and I didn't want to move the house any further forward just because I liked the front yard area and the long driveway and everything, so I wanted to keep it as is. But I like the little back porch, and then I make a little patio area with some planter pots and a barbecuer, and no actual like seating or anything. I wanted to leave like any dining areas or actual furniture pieces. Basically, I wanted to leave those for the furnishing part of the video, so no personal touches to any Sims that live here, just like basic decor is what I was going for. I do place a basketball hoop and a bicycle though, just because I wanted to add those like extra details, and I love the way the basketball hoops look next to garages. Unfortunately, with the height of this garage door and the hoop that I wanted to use, I couldn't place it on the garage itself, but the standing one I thought still looked really good. And here I'm creating the carport area to this house, and again, it's not perfect looking, but I think it adds to that realistic feel. And so I don't know, I'm really excited to furnish this house. I'm not sure exactly how I'm going to decorate it, but I think it's gonna depend on the type of Sim that I have living here and maybe like their hobbies and stuff. So like I was saying, if you guys have any ideas, I could use them. But yeah, I put a barbecue back here and some planter boxes, and that's it for the exterior decorations. And then I'm just putting some lights around. And back here, I thought about putting like one of those spray painting murals that came with City Living back here on the garage. So you could definitely do that. There's a space for it. I decided not to. I just put some windows here instead, but there's definitely the room there to do that if you wanted that activity. And then here I'm back into this house. I was kind of all over the place with this build. I was like, ooh, I want to do this over here. Ooh, I want to do this over here. And so I was just kind of jumping around, but I think that's okay. And I thought about putting a fireplace on an angle, but I don't know, I didn't really like the way that looked too much in this build, so I decided just to use the one from Parenthood. And then instead of putting windows along the wall, I just left it blank. And I ended up using some drain pipes and a breaker box just to fill in the awkward spaces of the walls. Because like the window placement in this house was a bit weird. I mean, I think the window placement is realistic, but in The Sims, I usually go very like symmetrical with my window placements, and yeah, it's pretty symmetrical, but it didn't quite work out in this build. But I think it looks okay, and I actually really like it, and it makes it feel more realistic, which is of course what I was going for. So yeah, I really like that. But yeah, here I am just continuing with the terrain paint, and then I find that breaker box here in just a moment. And the breaker box that I'm using came with Strangerville, and I end up actually using one in the garage as well, just because I had like part of the gate, I think, clipping through the wall. I don't know why the gate would clip through the wall, but unfortunately it did. So you'll see that here in just a little while. and just moving the breaker boxes a little bit closer to the houses just because they weren't quite close enough at the regular placement. And I also used the tool mod to size that one up a little bit. And if you guys don't have the tool mod and you're a PC player, you should definitely get it. It's like my building best friend. That and the Better Build By, both by Twisted Mexi. They're awesome. But yeah, here I'm continuing with landscaping, adding a barbecue back here and those planter pots that I was talking about. And so I think when I furnish it, I'll probably add like a small outdoor dining table and maybe some monkey bars or something in the yard if they'll fit. I'm not really sure how much space I'll have because it is a pretty narrow backyard, but it's enough to like play with a dog or something. But here I'm moving on into the smaller house, just figuring out the flooring and the wallpaper. And here I decided that the kitchen space wasn't going to be large enough, so I made the hallway leading to the bedroom a little bit smaller, and then I moved the doorway to the bathroom to the hallway, and I feel like that was a little bit better. That way if there's guests, they don't have to go into the bedroom to use the bathroom, and then the back door could just be, you know, just used by the sim that lives there. And I think that makes sense. And then here I'm also figuring out the kind of layout of the bedrooms, adding some walk-in closets. I think I might end up removing one of these walk-in closets because I placed a bed here in just a little while just to see how much space I have in one of the rooms, and I think all of the rooms are going to be pretty cramped to have a double bed in there. And so I don't know, I'll figure that out once I actually do the furnishing, but I really want there to be the walk-in closets because I also feel like those are really realistic. But yeah, here I'm just picking out the wallpaper. I do add a few details in the garage, like the breaker box and the flooring and wallpaper in there, and then I go through and add some lights in the house. But this is pretty much it for the entire build. Like I said, I will be furnishing them in a separate video, so if you guys do have any ideas, I would really appreciate that. And yeah, this is pretty much it for the video. So I really hope you guys have enjoyed, and I hope you guys do enjoy the screenshots. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching, and please leave any comments or suggestions that you have, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye!